Welcome back to On the Rise as Alistair Johnston puts pen to paper, signing a brand new deal, keeping him at Celtic and at Celtic Park until 2029, as they have locked down their star Canadian international right back and potential future captain, as Celtic keep him at the top of Scottish football in an amazing piece of business by Celtic Football Club. But also, it's just an extremely exciting deal, whether it's for Canadian supporters, Celtic supporters, and ultimately Alistair Johnston. I think every way you look at this move and this signing extension, it just makes sense and it is a win-win for every single party, which in some deals, that doesn't always happen. But Alistair Johnston adores, loves Celtic Football Club, as does the supporters, which is such a great feeling for everyone, especially Canadian supporters, to see one of the international players get adopted and loved so much by a European club, which doesn't always happen. But Alistair Johnston is loved on every single level at the club, and he is praising so highly, whether it's the atmosphere at the club, the stadium, the press conferences. He absolutely loves them, but he is praising Brendan Rodgers and how much he's elevated his game so much this season due to the manager. And it's great to see that media press conference he did today, because he learned and said so much interesting things in it. And we're going to break it down, but also, guys, give you guys my reaction on Alistair Johnston sticking around at Celtic Park until 2029. Before we do, guys, drop down below, hit that sub button. We're one sub away from 500, but we'll keep pushing on after that. And let me know your thoughts in the comments about Alistair Johnston sticking around at Celtic Park, guys. And if you're excited to see him sticking at Celtic Park, smash that like button. But we're going to jump straight into things, guys, because this is an amazing move, an amazing deal for him to get that security, that reassurance to lock down himself at Celtic and at Celtic Park is unbelievable to see. To be able to play and not have to stress about a contract, not have to stress about where you might go next, who might come for you, if your deal's up, do I have to look with my agent for a new club, is out the window. Alistair Johnston can purely just enjoy his football, enjoy for the national team, for the club level, and it's going to benefit him and on every single level, whether it's internationally, whether it's a club level. It's huge for Canada and for Celtic. And the amount that he loves his football right now is so exciting to see. Alistair Johnston always loves press conferences, but just seeing him in that press conference, talking about that new deal, a smile on his face, how much he's buzzing to be at Celtic Park until 2029 is a great sight to see. And he puts all of his form down this season, really down to how much he's supported by the club and also the management. It was interesting seeing him talk about Brendan Rodgers in that press conference today, because he said something I thought was very interesting. He said Brendan Rodgers has elevated his game to a new level, whether it's leadership-wise or attacking-wise. And we've truly seen that this season. 4 goals, 3 assists in 10 starts and 11 appearances is obscene numbers for a left back. I'm pretty sure he's up there either at the top or top 5 for right back numbers and goal involvements this season, which is truly incredible. Because Alistair Johnston only has 6 goals throughout his Celtic career. He has 4 of those this season. He has been instrumental in some of the attacking play. He has been a defensive rock, but also it is down to, as well, I'm sure of it, the positivity, the support, and the backing he gets, not just at the club level, but from supporters. If there's Celtic fans, Celtic supporters watching this, please let me know your thoughts on Alistair Johnston, guys, and how much you guys love him, because the comments under him re-signing, under the video on YouTube of his conference are so positive and so amazing to see. And from a Canadian perspective, it's so exciting to see a Canadian player go abroad, go to Europe, and get so much love, get so much praise, and taken in by the supporters of that club. Because from an MLS-based Canadian perspective, we've seen so many Canadians leave from the MLS to Europe. And I don't think any player has made such an exciting transfer as Alistair Johnston to Celtic and be brought in and adopted truly by the supporters like Alistair Johnston has done. The way Celtic supporters have adopted Alistair Johnston as one of their own has been so exciting. Whether it's chanting and cheering with him outside of his vehicle, whether it's in the stadium, it's unbelievable to see. And it's so exciting from a Canadian perspective to see how much love and support Alistair Johnston gets on a weekly basis just from the supporters. And it helps and elevates his game to another level. We've seen it at the Canadian level. We've seen it with Celtic, and especially this season. I'm sure a lot of that is down to tactically on how good Brendan plays and his setup with Alistair Johnston getting forward, his leadership role, and his attacking wise. But it does come from the praise and the positivity of the supporters. And when you're loving where you're playing football, when you're loving the supporters you're playing for and the atmosphere in the club, you're going to enjoy your football even more and you're just going to play better. And you can clearly see that with Alistair Johnston on the pitch on a weekly basis. And he does that at the club level. He does that for the national team level even more now. And the fact you're getting a right back who gives you a 7.9 average from 11 performances is truly incredible. And Alistair Johnston, he's still only 26. He has so much football left to play. And I think he realizes that Celtic are such a huge club historically. He knows it's special. He talked about that in his press conference. He said from minute one, from day one, when he signed for the club, when he walked through that front door, it was a special feeling. And there is always that talk, that rumor of, especially within the Canadian realm, could he go to a top 5 league? Could he go join a top 5 team? And for me personally, I don't want him to join a top 5 league. Celtic is a club with so much rich history, with Celtic Park is a truly historic atmosphere, one of the biggest clubs ever in world football. And I think he knows that. And I think he feels that at Celtic Park. He talks about the atmosphere and those Champions League nights at Celtic Park. And I don't think there's any reason for Alistair Johnston now to leave. I think signing that new deal gives him that reassurance, gives him that security that he feels safe. He doesn't have to worry about where he might be next. He can just play his football. And I don't think he has that feeling at all about moving to a top 5 league. And at least the good thing now is if at some point there's an offer they cannot refuse, they have him and they can get the utmost most fee for him since they have him locked down to a long-term fee or a long-term deal, my pardon. But the great thing this is, I just believe Alistair Johnston knows he's at home. He's at a club that loves him. He's at a club that gives him the best. He loves his football. He enjoys playing for Celtic. And if Brendan Rodgers is there with how highly he's talking about Brendan Rodgers in that press conference, I don't think he leaves for a long time. And I hope Alistair Johnston plays his full career at Celtic because it's so exciting to see. I think one day he could be the captain. There's so many Celtic supporters talking about that, and I'd love to hear if you guys have to say about that in the comments. But I hope one day he's the captain of Celtic. It might be one of the most historical things ever in Canadian football, and that might be outrageous, and some Canadian supporters might think that's outrageous, but you just have to realize the history and the atmosphere and the level that Celtic are as a club, because that would be incredible, immense if he ever got named as the permanent captain of the Celtic Football Club. That might not be a while for now, but if he sticks around, Alistair Johnston definitely could be the captain of Celtic Football Club, guys. But Alistair Johnston is sticking around at Celtic and Celtic Park until 2029 in an amazing piece of business. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, especially Celtic supporters, Canadians as well. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this about Celtic locking down Alistair Johnston. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Smash that sub button, guys, for so much content. We're going to try and have another Alistair Johnston video on why it's a perfect move and why this makes sense and how he'll fit in going long term. But guys, smash that like button as well if you're excited to see Alistair Johnston stick around at Celtic. But I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.